Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I've got my jacket on and my warm shirt. I've got Kitty here in my lap who wants to play, and he knows he can't play. So, behave, Kitty. You can't play in the car. Not while I'm driving, anyway. And I just saw, it looks like everybody was okay, but I just saw my second wreck in 2 days on this road. It's a high-speed road. People have to pay attention. The speed limit on this road is 65. It's an interstate. You got to really pay attention, and everybody's in a hurry. As I was leaving this morning, all the school buses were heading out, and that was a traffic jam getting through town. All right. We have to prepare ourselves for what's coming. I've told you to prep. That's part of preparing. Let me get my cruise control set. I had reset it after I went through that wreck. I had to go off onto the shoulder to get around it. Real life tends to mirror what's happening biblically, for me anyway. So seeing crashes in front of me like this, I don't normally come up on a wreck. That just happened. I saw one a couple of days ago in one of the little towns. Someone cut right in front of somebody, and the other car plowed right into him. The momentum carried him off to the side, and I went around. It didn't look like anybody was injured again. If there was an injury, I'd stop. But this one here, as I was pulling up to it, a fire truck arrived. Better off to get trained medics. I'm not currently certified in anything. All that's lapsed. I had all that when I was working with Boy Scouts, but I'm not current, so I'd rather let somebody else who knows what they're doing deal with it. I suppose I could get retrained, but where I'm at, there's very little need for it. So we need to be prepared with all the things that we need to live. We need to be emotionally prepared for things that are going to happen. Russia launched towards Ukraine a non-nuclear ICBM. So they launched, the first time in this war, they launched an intercontinental ballistic missile. They didn't have to launch it. They could have stayed with their stuff. But it's a show that they can launch it. Somebody told me, and he probably heard it on the left media somewhere, that they don't have any long-range missiles. What do you think the Cold War was about? It's another lie coming out of the left media. They're not equal to us, but they're neck and neck on a lot of stuff on the space program. They can launch astronauts into space. They can launch nukes to different countries if they want to. They could also ship a nuke to another country and have them launch it. So we got to be ready. So you got to get your personal memory verses ready, so that you can be prepared. You can be joyful. As the song goes, the joy of the Lord is my strength, which is also a scripture verse. Get things like that you're going to need. Have them ready. Put them on the refrigerator, the magnet. Put it on the door as you're leaving. The things that you need to be responsible for to make sure that you're ready to deal with this stuff. Other people are going to see these things and they're going to panic. You need to be the calming voice. Now, panic is a natural instinct of fear. We shouldn't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid about. Everything that happens is in God's plan. If we die in the midst of God's plan, then that's His plan. And we'll be with Him in heaven. If we don't die, that's His plan. And we'll be in heaven a little later. So don't worry about anything. There's nothing you can do about it anyway. One couple that was in my park that were having nothing but problems, fighting and yelling all the time. It's sad to see. You try to talk to these people, but they just don't get it. The world doesn't get it. And they won't. All the way up until the end, when heaven and earth are destroyed, there will be people that don't get it. Doesn't mean you can't talk to them, but don't spend all your time in cooking. The watch pot never boils. In planting, you don't plant a seed and stand there and stare at it. You plant the seed, water it, and go about your business. And if it needs maintenance, water every 2 or 3 days, then you water it every 2 or 3 days. The same with people. You don't stand there and stare at them and hope they change. It's not going to happen that way. They have to have their little internal battle where they're arguing with the Spirit of God, basically. I don't want to change. I don't want to be a Christian. I don't want to do this stuff because it'll make me have to change the way I am, and I don't want to change the way I am. I like the way I am, and I'm miserable. Help me, God. It's a dichotomy. You can't rationalize it. It doesn't make sense. But without the Spirit of God, you're dealing with the devil influencing people's thoughts, and it doesn't make sense. It won't make sense. So don't try to figure out evil people. There's plenty of them out there. And you can see them kind of plotting what they're going to do next here in the United States. They don't like the results of the election, but surely they knew it was coming. And yes, they knew it was coming, and please don't call me Shirley. So they had to have a plan. Don't ever go up against the devil and assume that he's not capable. He's more than capable, and the people that he appoints are more than capable. Hello, Kitty. Yes, be nice. So a lot of what's happening is not, oops. It's more, okay, they took the bait for that one. Let's get ready with the next round. It's calculating, knowledgeable, experienced. There are brilliant people who are atheists. I think atheism is a cop-out, but there are brilliant people who are. There are scientific people who believe in God. I, for one, I was a physics major in school until I got bored with it, thinking these guys are never going to figure it out. They won't look outside the box. Every once in a while somebody does. Those are your famous people, Galileo and Newton and these other ones. And they were called heretics by the church. But they were thinking outside the box. If you get an education, the education is not supposed to be your limit of knowledge. what you get in getting an education is the ability to learn. Never forget that ability. Because in science and in religion, which are one and the same if you know what you're doing, you're constantly learning. And that's why I was teaching a couple of videos ago about if you're going to learn a memory verse, you got to learn memory verses on either side of it, or at least know enough about the topic that you can answer questions about it. People are going to ask questions, or they're going to come up with their standard rebuttal. These offshoot so-called Christian churches are more like cults. You're going to throw out a verse that they're well used to hearing, and they're going to come back with, well, how come, if that's true, how come this can be like this? They've got their rebuttal. If you're going to talk to these people, you better have your homework. There are videos on it, there are books on it. How do you talk to Mormons? How do you talk to whatever religion you want to do, who's close but no cigar when it comes to... I suppose there could be Christians there who don't fully understand what they're teaching, but you can have a better chance of finding non-Christians in some of these cults. It's like one of the teachers teaches that he grew up Catholic, not Roman Catholic, but Catholic. And if you want to know the difference, most Catholics are probably going to get to heaven. Like Billy Graham said, they have a little extra baggage to carry on the way. But I think Roman Catholic, they're like the Pharisees of Jesus' time. Fancy and pretty on the outside and dead on the inside. All you gotta do is see what our Pope comes up with. Not our Pope, the Pope. He was never mine. I'm not Catholic. I fortunately grew up from a non-religious family. And the reason I say for me that was good, I didn't have any preconditions. I went to a number of different churches. I've been to catechism. Didn't like it. Working on head knowledge. It had nothing to, the stuff I was studying had nothing to do with the number one commandment, love. So I didn't like it. I've been to a number of different, I've even been to cult religions. My mother was a cult religionist. She went to Science of Mind churches. Why? Because they let you be what you want to be. You never have to change. And there's no Holy Spirit involved, so there's no guilt to change. I even went to a Unity church. I taught Bible study at a Unity church. Didn't move anybody, didn't change anybody, didn't sway anybody. So I found another church. I found a really good Christian church. They had good music at the time. This is 70s, I guess. Thought I had it made in this church. And then the pastor gets caught having an affair. You can't escape humanity. You can't find a perfect world. You have to adapt and learn to live with imperfection. That's why I'm saying you've got to be ready for what's coming. You don't know what's coming. I don't know. We're told a lot of bad things are coming. We're not going to see the Antichrist or the judgments, but we are going to see the birth pains, which is what we're seeing now. And the closer we get, the harder those birth pains are going to be. Oh, I love traffic. The light just changed, and I guarantee I won't get through it. Got too many people in line. Patience is a virtue. All right, everybody. Oh, I did want to comment that my numbers are going down again, and I've had one person who was a Patreon contributor say that, how come you blocked me? I'm going, I didn't block you. So you could be blocked. I'm trying to find out how to restore them, but I can't find where the block is. I log into YouTube through Google, and Google has its list of people, and on my Travels with God login, I don't have any blocked people. So I've got to find out what YouTube could have done. So be careful. Be careful in getting political. I'm trying to be careful about talking about politics. And they don't like the big T. I guarantee they don't like the big T. And there are people that are so propagandized that they're going to take it on their own initiative to aggravate people who do like the big T. Now, is he a good, perfect man? No, of course not. You're not going to find one. Is he better than the other side? Absolutely. And they're still up to something. Those sneaky sons of guns are going to do something between now and the inauguration that's going to disable us, I think. If we go to war, martial law. They stay in power. And it's up to Congress to end martial law. And they currently have control. So it would take a coup. And they've replaced a lot of the military. And they've definitely replaced the FBI and CIA. So that would be difficult. I'm not calling for any of this stuff. I'm just giving you some senior predictive advice. Be prepared. We don't know where we're going on this earth. All right, everybody. Have a great day. I'm going to visit my son. That's why I'm in the car again. I wish he was closer. The only way I can get him closer is for me to move closer to him. But my goal is to get him to move in with me. And if I can do that, then we'll be close enough till we meet in the clouds. God bless.